Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session, we are going to consider the growth which we are witnessing in the Netflix business as well as its share price, which is seeing a robust rise if we see that since it released its quarterly earnings with higher revenues, higher net income, and along with that, it also had a higher forecast for the ongoing quarter. So all these things which are pointing northward for Netflix, also generating the expectations that this is going to continue. This will last at least for next couple of quarters, and we should be positioning ourselves for profiting from these upward momentum building up in the shares, the stocks of Netflix. We will be looking at the opportunities which might come our way if we have the risk reward ratio figured out, if we are able to optimize our trades and get the entry at desired valuations, then of course we will stand to gain from the upward momentum of the stock. The Netflix has been doing well since it nosedived in the first half of 2022. It has tried to regain the lost ground. It is not exactly where it used to be at the second half of 2021, but it has been able to claw back the earlier losses, and currently it is closer to highs than closer to lows in the recent past. So there has been remarkable shift in the stock price trajectory, and I feel that in the near term the momentum is clearly favorable for the bullish traders, investors, and if we go with the flow and keep looking for buy on dips strategy, buy on dips opportunity, it is more likely to work than not. In this session, we are going to consider the fundamental story as well. So, for that, now we head to the quarterly statement, the third quarter earnings of the company, in which it has reported more than 8.5 billion US dollar as revenues, and even after cutting various expenses, it still has a robust net profit of close to US dollar 2 billion. Not exact, I'm not being precise here, but the figure is telling that the company has been able to grow sequentially as well as yearly for last couple of quarters. This was also the company's consecutive quarter in which its revenues have grown, and the forecast for the ongoing quarter is also on the upside, where it is likely to witness the growth in the revenues, but we won't be sure if it will be translating into higher revenues as the company is likely to spend on creating new content in diverse markets. For this year, the company registered growth as well as some hits in the local languages, which is also adding to its rising revenue base in most countries. The Netflix has grown and onboarded new customers, and that is going to help it keep stability, and at the same time, in course of time, it is going to raise the rates, and that will also alter the balance of revenues. Now, if we consider the shareholder summary, the Third quarter was quite good for the company where it saw its revenues growing sequentially. This is the summary, and here you can see that for the third quarter of 2023, there is substantial rise of around 7 to 8 percentage point from the amount of revenue it was bringing in a year back. And if you look closely, you will observe that in almost all these recent quarters, the company's revenues have grown steadily, and the same is likely to continue in the upcoming quarter, that is, ongoing quarter as well. And if we have to benefit from the upward journey, of course, we need to optimize our risk reward ratio, and for that, we will have to consider the technical side of the story as well. The EPS net income have grown for last couple of quarters, but the forecast is not that bright. But I think given where the stock value of the Netflix is, it is likely to continue to grow, and in coming quarters, we might even witness it touching back towards the highs, prior swing highs, which were established in the last, which were established couple of years back. We have this results for the company, and in it has listed that it took several initiatives to boost its revenues and profit, and also at the same time try to cut back on cost, improve operating margin. There doesn't seem to be much change, but still the company has been able to register growth of around 20%. This is the third quarter operating income, which was just little shy of $2 billion. Some forex headwinds are also likely to impact its earnings in the ongoing quarter adversely, but I feel that we will have this opportunity coming our way if we are vigilant enough, if we keep an eye on these shares movement momentum. Then in that scenario, given that on the fundamental side the story seems quite promising, and all we will need to do is keep looking for the opportunities on the technical side, because our goal is to minimize the losses and maximize the profit, if any. Before we move to the technical side, we will consider these revenues, the consolidated income statement. Here comes the consolidated statement of operations. So you can notice that these revenues have grown steadily, and also the operating margin has also grown in the recent past. The operating margin has crossed about 20%, but the next quarter is likely to become a bit difficult, but of course we will see and decide accordingly tomorrow. And this is the balance sheet. This is publicly available information, and you can glance through it. If you have any query regarding this, you can write to me in the feedback as well. Now I'm going to see how things are shaping up on the technical side. The Netflix has been rising since it released its quarterly earnings last month. From there onwards, it has rallied substantially and it has now gone on to touch the price level closer to the prior swing high. I feel that in coming quarters it is going to cross above this prior swing high and that will mark the formation of higher high and higher low, and in the course of time the opportunity will also be presented to us for making new investments and profit from these northward momentum. This is the daily stock, and here prior to this rise, it was simply consolidating and oscillating in between these crucial price levels. Now that the trajectory seems promising and we will find it easier to have a better risk reward ratio as well, we can indeed go for the share price tracking and see how things shape up. If you feel that there is a chance for the new trade that can be assessed and decided for the next few sessions, if you're a short-term trader, you will have to rely more on lower time frame charting like hourly, 4 hourly, because using the longer time frame charting like daily, we won't be able to look at the nuances of the situation, and that makes it challenging undertaking. So for short term, we will change the time frame, and on the lower time frame, you are likely to find the opportunities to take advantage of these bullish momentum. The Netflix has been rising consistently and non-stop since the release of earnings, where it used to trade below US dollar 300 mark, and now it is having these one-sided momentum. But as and when we will see some correction and consolidation, we will indeed be in a position to optimize our trades. So we will have to take it easy, see how things evolve, and in course of time, the opportunities will indeed come your way. So for short-term traders, if your time horizon is only a couple of days, then at the current level, it is not really like a good time to buy, but maybe if things improve and we get a better risk reward ratio, the next couple of days are there. From longer term to medium term, we will have to increase the candle period, and here I will have to go with the day and weekly. In the weekly charting, we see that the Netflix has now recovered some of the ground which it lost in the first half 2022, and after that it consolidated, and since the third quarter of 2022 there has not been looking back. Even in last couple of weeks it has consistently risen and gained almost around 30% in valuation. I feel since it is making higher highs and higher lows from the daily time frame as well as a higher time frame like weekly, we will indeed have advantage if we simply go with the flow and go for a region in which we can optimize the trade. So from short term as well as medium term and long term perspective, things seems promising enough. Only thing is that we will need to optimize these trades and go for the new initiations only when you feel that the risk which we will need to take is not significant enough. It is insignificant in comparison to the kind of reward which might come our way if we happen to be on the right side of this developing territory. So that's my assessment of the share price momentum of the Netflix. Its fundamental side and the technical side looks promising enough. It is a trading opportunity which we can exploit if it comes our way. So watch out for how price moves in next couple of days, and from the short term perspective, the option is to buy. It is better to go with the flow and keep looking for the opportunities to go long from the short term, medium term, as well as from the long term perspective. So that's all from my side in today's session, in which we saw the fundamental and the technical story of the Netflix. Now it's my time to wrap up the session. I will be back tomorrow with a equally interesting stock to work with. Do come back next time around. Thank you all for joining in. Have a fabulous time ahead. Goodbye.